Hello, everyone. Welcome to the PIPCAST 3000. I'm Caedo Genesis. This is my co-host, BADCompanySarge.
Hi there.
And we like to talk about Fallout sometimes, as well as gaming news and other things that we feel like talking about in this podcast. You have an outline on screen and all that stuff, timestamps and everything, in case you get bored with one topic or another. Usually, we have a dedicated Fallout topic, but since Skyrim Anniversary has come out, this is going to be a more of a Bethesda-related kind of podcast, because we're going to be talking about other Bethesda properties like Skyrim, because Skyrim can't die. It will never die. So Anniversary Edition is the next iteration of that not dyingness. But before we get to that, we'll have some new stuff to talk about related to Rockstar, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Nintendo's most disliked video yet, which could go into the recent change with YouTube too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they're related. Geforce leak, Todd Howard AMA, Elden Ring gameplay, and the Game Awards nominees. So there's a nice variety of things to talk about today, and Skyrim Anniversary Edition is the topic, of course. But first, Sarge, would you like to take the tip of the day and the comment of the cast?
Sure thing. The tip of the day is to bring a scarf and an umbrella, 2 items which I do not own. So, if you own those things, apparently you're supposed to use them and have them.
If you're like Sarge or me, who don't go outside at all, don't worry about it.
I mean, it's got cold enough now that I wear a hoodie as well as my t-shirt, so that's kind of a level I'm at.
Yeah.
The comment of the cast is quite a short yet eloquent one. Cheeseburger.
Yes. Thank you, Soupy Boy, for the cheeseburger.
Cheeseburgery good.
Very good. Tasty. Cheeseburger.
Nom. Me eating the cheeseburger.
Man, I'm glad I ate before we decided to record. We don't even have any beef in the freezer. Anyway, so our first news topic is not super fun. It's Rockstar. Rockstar apologized for the GTA Trilogy remaster and the state it released in.
Man.
Because it came out not so great from a lot of different places reports.
All I
players.
got of like the GTA remaster thing was like I watched one video that a friend of mine made where he was just having fun messing around with it, and that was my entire exposure to the trilogy up till now, where it turns out it's bad.
Yeah. Is it on Steam?
I don't know.
Nope.
Hey.
You have to use the Rockstar launcher to get it.
Oh. Yeah.
So here's the thing. When the trilogy released, one of the big points of contention were that the originals got delisted from storefronts. So once the remasters came out, the only option you had if you didn't have the game prior was the remaster, or didn't have those games prior, which was one issue, one of the many that people were having, because when the remaster trilogy came out, it didn't come out as expected and had some pretty frustrating issues that, by the way, modders have been fixing. We know a little bit about that. But modders, it's another situation where modders shouldn't be, or shouldn't have to take it upon themselves to fix. But also, Rockstar, at the very bottom of the article, Rockstar did confirm that the classic GTA Trilogy bundle will be available, but only on the Rockstar launcher and not on Steam. So basically, they're still trying to get as much money out of people as they can, because they're going through their first party launcher. It's like, and obviously the apology was just a corporate apology thing. Like, I don't think I have to read it. They apologized over Twitter to fans for whatever that's worth, which is close to nothing. So
yeah,
I'm sorry. I have very little like an interest for Rockstar. If anybody is like a GTA fan, please add your input to the comments, because like I've already been I think Grand Theft Auto 5 has had, lots of re-releases similar to to Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
Except GTA 5 is a live service situation, whereas Skyrim just keeps re-releasing with more DLC stuff that could possibly crash it.
We'll see with the whole GTA remaster thing. I wonder how long was actually spent on it, because I wouldn't be surprised if Rockstar was just like, yeah, why not do this? Here's a year. You gotta make all of them work properly.
Yeah, I think it was on the Jimquisition. James Stephanie Sterling was going over, I think it was, I could be wrong here. There was supposed proof for AI upscaling because some of the signs that had spelled something previously were spelling something completely different.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense in the game. Like some of the business signs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a screenshot of it or something. Maybe I'll add that in there too. But yeah, so if there was AI upscaling involved, like, I'm sure that it's not just done with these games, but with other games too, then that's less work for the developers themselves, and it's much easier to cash in on something like this. When last did you play Grand Theft Auto?
You know what? I can actually check, can't I? It'll take me just a moment. G comes after F. There we go. Properties. 15th of October 2020.
Oh, okay. So that was not too long ago.
I mean, it was a little over a year.
I think the last time I played Grand Theft Auto was probably in my 20s, my early 20s.
Same.
Yeah, but you're young.
No, it's same. Clearly.
Sorry.
Same.
I'm still technically in my early 30s, please. Yeah, around the age of like 21, 22. Yeah, when I was visiting my sister when my nephew was like still a toddler. They had their PS2 up, and the options were like Kingdom Hearts 2, or first Kingdom Hearts, and then Grand Theft Auto 3.
Did you not play 5 at all then?
No, I didn't touch 5.
Ah.
Yeah, I kind of ended up losing interest in the Rockstar open world games after that point.
I've only played San Andreas and 5, to be fair.
And
I've beat neither of them.
Yeah, so I'm not an authority on Rockstar games at all. Like I haven't even played the Red Dead games at all, because they're not really my jam when it comes to setting. So and then people tell me you got to play Red Dead 2, and I'm like, I know, but I'm not into westerns like at all. Like that would definitely change my view when I'm playing something, for sure. Sometimes you got themes and appearances and stuff and settings that you like, and then you don't.
Yeah. I don't find westerns fine. I played a little bit of Red Dead 1, but it's in third person and controls horribly for me. That's your version is is third person, except for Kingdoms of Amalur. I mean, even Kingdoms of Amalur, I don't like the fact it's in third person. It's just there are some games which are good enough that I make do. Mm-hmm. It's the same. I beat Nier Automata. That game I think is amazing. But it's that's in third person. Yeah, I forgot about that. I will play third person games. It's just, as long as they're good. Yeah, they need to be not just good, really good. Really good. Like only the best of the best, basically. Okay. And even then, it won't be as good for me, unfortunately. Man, I would love to see you play Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance or Devil May Cry 5. Either one. Or Death Stranding. Oh, that won't happen one day. That will never happen. It's Death Stranding has a photo mode that, well, so does Devil May Cry 5, actually. So yeah, but Death Stranding is like, I've seen the environments in Death Stranding. There's nothing I've seen where I've gone, oh, I want to take a picture of that. Oh, okay. It's like, oh wow, here's a hill, here's a truck, here's a Norman Reedus. Well, woo. I would say since Devil May Cry is spectacle oriented, then you'll probably get, if you played that, you'd probably get way more better photos in that one. Anyway, another thing about video games that are in first person, not third person,
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is something Sarge and I are looking forward to, had their pre-orders go up more than a couple of weeks ago, because even though this is a bi-weekly podcast, did I say that? I didn't even say that in the intro, I don't think.
No, you didn't mention it.
Yeah, this is a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday. It was not bi-weekly this time.
It was tri-weekly.
No, that's 3 times a week. We're not doing that.
Quad weekly.
No.
Sept weekly.
Oh my god, Sarge. We wouldn't have anything to talk about. We would have to learn improv. I'm not good.
No, we just record all the like preamble stuff we have before we start recording, and that would be the majority of the podcast.
Oh,
you know,
no.
dreaming about Muppets and stuff.
I told Sarge about the dream that I had last night, and it involved God being a Muppet.
And that's as much as needs to be said about it.
That's as much as I'm gonna tell you. I'll probably share it with my patrons, if anything, because they get to look into my freaking weird stories about how horrible I am at picking up on signals that women give me.
Oh dear.
Those were some stories I shared with the patrons. Anyway, back to the topic. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands pre-order is confusing and also bullcrap.
Caedo is angry about this.
I am.
I got to witness
very much
Caedo
so.
being angry when first discovering some of this stuff.
Yeah. So when you get to pick editions, I have it linked on the official Tiny Tina's Wonderlands kind of page. When you go to pre-order, you have 3 choices, which is the standard edition, the next level edition, and the chaotic great edition. They show what features they come with, but they don't show the price until you click on them. So say I click on standard edition. I did click on standard edition.
Oh dear, what did it do?
And then you can go to, what the heck?
Oh wow, it just boots up the same page again.
Yeah, it does. Interesting. Yeah, this is part of what the confusion was for me.
That's
actually,
not what that was.
because I'm confused again.
Okay, I can tell you the prices in pounds, because Tiny Tina's Wonderland Standard Edition, £54.99, and Chaotic Great, £69.99, showing me, and it won't show me the other one. The middle one is just like, nah, we're not going to show you that.
Okay, so then you have to pick a store and then pre-order from that store. I guess.
Yes.
But it doesn't.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking at this. Like, the Epic Games version of Chaotic Great Edition is £69.99. The Xbox Series X version of the Chaotic Great Edition is £79.99. So it's £10 more on Xbox than it is on PC.
Yeah,
And
so that I recall this was a while when I ranted about this a while ago.
Yeah.
So I'm piecing it back together. Part of the problem was that the standard edition and the next level edition?
Next level edition.
The main new generation optimizations are used as a feature, and it comes with a Dragon Lord pack bonus, whatever. That's probably cosmetic. Thing is, new gen relates to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. This is called a feature or an included thing for $10 extra, which it shouldn't ever be the case for just releasing on new hardware.
Yeah, it's only £5 extra in the UK, which I feel is like only $9.
Yeah, but you're still paying more for the same game that's meant for.
Oh, wow, it's only $6. Yeah, it's actually a lot more reasonably upgraded on UK to US, which is surprising because I'm used to seeing it the other way around.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's were you looking at USD as well? Because
no, I'm
I
looking
think
at
there's still
British prices.
I'm pretty sure there's still a sizable difference there.
Yeah, it's £5 more on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands Next Level versus Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is just buying it on the current gen platforms, basically.
Yeah. What the compare editions? $59.99 for the base game, $69.99 for the PS5 version.
Yeah. That's very strange, because it's £59.99 for base game, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and $64.99 Next Level Edition. So in the UK, you're paying more than the US if you buy the version for your old consoles, but you're getting a slightly better deal on the upgrade if you've got a new console in the UK versus the US.
Strange.
Pricing differences are fun.
And then we have the Chaotic Grade Edition, which also includes full game with new gen optimizations as its first bullet point. Not necessary at all. The Dragonlord bonus pack of the previous edition, as well as the Season Pass, which includes the Butt Stallion and 4 post-launch content drops. So, but this could be anything. And we know with Borderlands 3 that a Season Pass now, according to, or thanks to 2K and Gearbox, only includes a year's worth of content, not the stuff that comes after that where you'll have to purchase another Season Pass.
Yeah.
So,
and then that other Season Pass gets you like one piece of content, and then they don't make any more content for it.
Yeah, it's gross. Like, Gearbox and 2K have always been like kind of but it's gotten worse.
Man, you remember how Bethesda was like, oh, we're gonna sue you because there's Creation Club as well as the Season Pass? Like, that's not even close in my opinion to this. Oh, Season Pass doesn't include this one thing extra we've done, which is official DLC and linked in all the same stuff. It's like,
yeah. And then on this pre-order page, you know, we've gone through the standard, next level, and Chaotic Grade editions. Chaotic Grade is $79.99 USD, by the way, so 80 bucks. But then you have Tiny Tina's Wonderlands Treasure Trove, which is the merch pack, which is again hard to find the price. Select condition? What does that mean?
I don't know. There's a lot of pretty cool stuff on this site, like a big button that says "Do not sell my personal information," which is my favorite. I've never actually seen that on a site before, just as like its own thing. But it only applies if you're a California resident because of CCPA, so doesn't help us or 99.9% of everyone.
Yep. Okay, so I found the GameStop one. The actual price point's $99.99 USD for the Treasure Trove. This only includes merch, which is, again, like we talked about in the Bethesda merch that I was making fun of, mostly paper.
I love me paper.
A Butt Stallion plushie, a couple of books and a map, and some illustrated tarot cards, which are kind of cool, and enamel pins. All for $100, but Stallion, it doesn't include the game.
Hold up, so this is $100 on its own without the game?
Correct.
No. No.
And
see, I was thinking in my mind like, oh yeah, 20-30 quid for this. That's a little pricey, I'd say, but it's not completely ridiculous. But no, it's not 20-30 quid. It's like 170 odd quid for this and the full edition of the game with all the stuff.
Yeah. So it does specify that the game is not included, but only at the very bottom of the product description. Yeah. Which, you know, most products do anyway. Which is just kind of expected. At least it says it somewhere, but you have to say view more on the description to actually see that. Yeah, what else is there to say? If you're getting Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, don't waste more than standard edition's worth of money unless you really, really, really want to play it on your next gen console, because that's going to be around $10 more, which is stupid. I hate next gen. I don't even have one yet. I already hate it.
It's always crazy to me how much the like extra merch things cost. It's just, this is why I don't buy like any merch stuff. Like, I'd like to genuinely support like some of the games and some of the companies that I buy their games from, but I look at the stuff and it's like, oh yeah, $20 for a pin. It's always ridiculously overpriced.
Yeah. The last mega merch thing that I got was the Final Fantasy VII Remake collector's edition, but I got a freaking,
you got a statue like
I got a
that,
it's basic, it's a I mean, it's posable figurine, but like it's the Fenrir motorcycle as well as Cloud on it with, interchangeable like hands and stuff for different poses and whatnot. But that was $300.
Oh
yeah. However, it did come with the game and a steelbook for it. So I know for a fact that I paid mostly for the figurine, but in my mind that was worth it. I didn't kill Sarge, did I? Okay.
I don't think I can ever do it. Like, I was expecting you to save at like $100 to $150 for that and the game. And it was dumb.
You know how big this thing is? It's bigger than my head.
I've got a lot of things that are bigger than my head. Doesn't mean I paid triple figures for them.
Like I said, to me, it was worth it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm trying to look around at my room and see how many things I've got that are like over $300 in price.
Yeah. I was going to say, beyond that, I just collect strategy guides. So Final Fantasy VII is the only one that I have like actual, like a bunch of merch that was not super cheap. Because I mean we have a power fist in our living room as well, but that's when GameStop was getting rid of all their Fallout merch, so it was like $30.
Okay, that's a reasonable price. I got bought the dog meat pop Funko head figure, vinyl figure. I don't know what they're called. And it's got the cool thing of it saying Fallout 4, and it is pop figure number 76. So it's like a little crossover thingy.
Yeah.
Despite being 76. Bought it like a while before 76 came out, it was announced. So that was a nice little thing. That is the only video game merch I own.
Nice.
And I didn't buy it.
Just give it time. Once you're raking in that YouTube cash, you be like, where do I spend all this?
I have so many other things to buy first. Like good food, a new bed, somewhere to live. Like just bare essentials will keep me busy for years of making good money.
That's what I was saying, like when you get there. Anyway, yeah, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Get the standard edition if you can help it.
Yeah.
Because the rest of this is bullcrap and gross, and I don't like it. And I'm gonna complain about it on the internet like everyone else.
Hey, rants are good. They get you the views.
That's true. Hey, also, a lot of rants get downvotes, right, Sarge?
Oh, yeah, they do. I know it all too well.
Well, what was YouTube's latest change?
Oh, they got rid of dislikes.
They did.
The two reasons I remember them saying were to stop dislike bombing and for, like, creator well-being. So, they're being considerate of us creators. They don't want us to see a bunch of dislikes on our videos and, oh, wait, we can still see the dislikes? Oh, okay, then that's BS, that part they're saying then. Like, yeah, we go into Creator Studio and, it tells us the percentage, the like to dislike ratio on the dashboard. We have what our latest video was out of our last 10, so that you get to see like a 10 out of 10, which sounds good, but is terrible. It means you failed and your life is pointless. So thanks, YouTube, Sarge, for caring about our well-being.
Sarge!
What?
Feel like dislike's not that bad on that one, is it?
On what one?
The Skyrim rant.
Oh, the Skyrim rant, let me check. My Skyrim rant video has... Oh, it's gone down a little bit. It's at 74.7% like to dislike. One of the worst on my channel. Worse than Fallout sounds terrible. It's at 529 likes and 179 dislikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's still better than 50.
Yes. Also, I know that a lot of people like dislike that video because they agreed with me with disliking what Bethesda have done with their marketing. Which that can adjust things too. Yeah, that's the thing. It took me like 50 dislikes before I got the first negative comment.
Yeah. So agreeing but disliking the same thing you're disliking. Yep. But somehow disliking your video, which affects your metrics too. I see that. I can see that.
It's a very fun thing.
I dislike this news. I'm going to dislike this video on it. Yeah.
Yep. Plus, there's the fun thing that happens every once in a while where someone assumes I'm from Bethesda, work from Bethesda, that kind of thing, because I'm mentioning them.
But you have Todd Howard on your contacts.
Yeah, Todd Howard and I are roommates. We're just, the normal stuff.
You go to Pete Hines' house for cookouts every so often.
Yeah, we just chill there. We just hang out,
Watch the football, American football.
And I ask them why they aren't using their feet to kick the ball. It's very confusing. So I think we've covered Nintendo pretty well there.
Well, I was gonna move into that as well because I feel like there's a bit of a connection between the Nintendo thing and this thing. So this one's from Kotaku, but it's accurate as I got to see the Nintendo's Switch Online expansion pack trailer as well, and they linked it in their article.
It was very hard for them to get this one wrong.
Yeah,
seeing as all it took was looking at the video for a second.
Yeah, so this was the Nintendo expansion pack paid service thing, but it was like a paid service upgrade like you would with like internet or cable, like you're adding a phone line or something like that, but just for your Nintendo account and just to have access to like the Nintendo arcade kind of thing. So you're already paying so much money and then you pay more to access what Nintendo has, as opposed to Xbox Game Pass. Hey, it's kind of a single cost thing and you just get stuff.
Like Game Pass is so good.
Game Pass is amazing.
It feels like the other services, instead of trying to match it, are just making themselves worse.
So anyway, since Nintendo is basically gaming's Apple, they are so obsessed with their own kind of ecosystem situation where they can put a price tag on freaking cardboard. You remember that? They sold cardboard as peripherals for Nintendo stuff, and people bought it. And I feel like it was among the disliked things, or maybe it was just memed really hard. I don't remember which.
Definitely memed. I feel like there are a few people like that. I remember there being like a few Labo things which were actually cool. Like they made like a piano thing, and I was like, okay, that's quite cool and inventive. But a lot of it was just like, we just tons of extra kits, but look at these two good ones and buy all the rest.
I think it's ridiculous. So Nintendo's expansion pack video was the most downvoted video that they had uploaded, or most disliked video that they had uploaded.
Yep.
And to our surprise, a couple weeks after that, YouTube removed the dislike statistic from public viewing.
Yep.
So these kinds of things aren't visible, which seems like more of a corporate move than a for everyone else move.
Like the dislikes going away. I mentioned earlier, like the creator mental health and the dislike bombing thing. Like the dislike bombing, there's a small argument that could be had for that. Like if you don't see dislikes, maybe people won't dislike bomb. That's like the one and only mild positive I can see from this is a way to deter dislike bombing. But dislike bombing isn't a huge problem. It's like saying, hey, we're going to remove the audio from all videos so that people don't say bad words anymore. Like, yeah, that gets rid of a minor problem and is also a terrible idea. Great.
So that's kind of the idea I have. Don't say that it's fact or anything like that. I just think there's a connection between Nintendo's dislike bomb on their recent service thing.
Yeah.
And YouTube making a change that dislikes are no longer visible. That's all I'm saying, because they're a couple of weeks apart.
I will say you're definitely not the only person saying that. Like the top comments in here, 2 of them are saying like YouTube remove dislikes because of this kind of thing, and it's
strange. So what is this the supposed Nvidia Geforce leak thing?
Oh, there was a leak. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
You know what I'm gonna do? Because
I know you don't really talk about leaks unless it's something directly related to something you like, right?
Okay, so I was sent this link by Dakoba. Dakoba and I, for context, like, we have one message in our, like, Discord messages to each other, which is not Final Fantasy IX.
Oh.
There is only one message, but it's not Final Fantasy IX in our direct messaging. We both are very aware that we're, like, the big fans of this game. So, when the Final Fantasy IX subreddit had a rumor for a planned Final Fantasy IX remake for next year, Dakoba sent it to me, and there's now like, oh, this is a list of Geforce games which have a future release date. Data come from the Geforce leak and is purged of Ubisoft games.
Oh.
And yeah, there's just a list of, how many games are there in total? Like a few hundred?
Like
more than a few hundred, like 416.
Yes.
416 different games. Yep. That are just listed, and some of them we like know about, like Vampire the Masquerade stuff that's coming. Yep, Warhammer 40k Dark Tide, we've heard of that too. Like a lot of it is stuff we've heard of. There's a few working title things.
Frickin' Arc 2.
Like,
I swear it's a joke to me. Like,
I mean,
it's a parody of itself at this point.
We got Starfield there listed as the correct release date, so take that for what you will. Like, if someone has just made this up, they're at least aware of, like, some games and when they're coming out and all that kind of thing. But listed in here, and the reason it got sent to me, is Final Fantasy IX Remake, due on the... when is it going to be? Oh god, I've got to work out what dating system this is in. It's either year, month, day, or year, day, month. I think it's year, month, day? Yeah, year, month, day. So at the start of April, we should be getting Final Fantasy IX Remake. If this leak, which we have no way of confirming is true, then there'll be a Final Fantasy IX Remake.
Ooh.
Yeah. And Final Fantasy IX is the greatest game ever made, so... who knows what it's going to be like. But, does that mean they're going to do, like, other bits? And it also says on here, which I'm sure nobody will care about, in that, like, 2022, halfway through the year, Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I'm guessing that would be the next part of it, but who cares about that game? The better game, Final Fantasy IX, is great, and Dakoba and I went back and forth a little bit about, is it going to suck and be terrible like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, who everyone hated? Is it going to be like that, or will it be good because Final Fantasy IX's amazing? You know, that was just for conversation.
I also see Firaxis Unannounced, which could be XCOM 3, or it could be Civilization 7.
Yeah. What I see, which is very interesting as well, is Football Manager 2022, 2023, and 2024.
Whoa!
Which is fun.
Yeah. It's almost like they're prepared to serialize their game.
It kind of feels like it just prints money every single year for very little work.
Yeah. We love it when they print money. So so great.
Okay, wait, what month? You know what? We might be able to check this. No, even that won't prove it. There's a game called Aeon Must Die, which I've not heard of, which was listed as coming out on the 21st of the 10th, 2021. So, what's the release date for that? That's 14th of October. So it was like a week after this was listed.
Okay. But that's all we know.
Yep. There's not really any way to prove this. It was just like, Final Fantasy IX Remake, that's kind of interesting, and I wonder what it would be like, and I hope it's good, because I love Final Fantasy IX.
Yeah, me too. Well, since we just went over something we can't prove, we can prove that Todd Howard didn't ask me anything on Reddit.
No, we can't. It's all a conspiracy. He's a synth.
And we got some interesting, useful I would say, useful and or interesting replies to some of the questions. There was only so many things he answered, obviously.
Yeah.
Questions about the Elder Scrolls 6 with, you know, some not unspecific answers or non-specific answers. Todd was joking about, for Father's Day this year, my son gave me a card that said, "You're an amazing dad, but where's TES 6?"
Yep.
That kind of answer. But then towards the bottom, I found my favorite question, which was related to ladders.
Yeah, where's the ladder one?
He said, "Hi Todd, Oda here, the guy who made the 50-page Google Doc about Starfield E3 2021 trailer. I'm gonna ask, has there ever been a point in Skyrim's development where you thought of adding climbable ladders to the game? Also about that ladder in the Starfield trailer. Will it be an animation, like holding E to climb up like in Mass Effect Andromeda? Ladderfield needs to know." Todd's reply was, "Despite the advent of supercomputers and next-gen hardware, ladders are our arch nemesis. It's an animation and we use it sparingly."
Yep.
So they will be climbable via animation in Starfield. That's what's confirmed here. And we're probably not going to see it anywhere else for a while, except for the trailer, which was a trailer. So
ladders ain't good.
But climbable. I like the idea of climbing ladders in a Bethesda game. Just like this person does. So this man asked the real questions. Thanks, Oda.
Yeah.
For that.
Also, there's quite a bit of like reiteration of stuff we already know, but which people seem to have misconceptions of within the whole online Bethesda mythos. Like, the Sky Games asked, "What do you think of Fallout New Vegas?" And Todd replied saying, "Great game, big fan of Obsidian, and we have many friends there." Which is like something which is often misrepresented online, where it's like
very often
Obsidian versus Bethesda, they hate each other.
Often.
Grr, they're enemies, sworn to kill each other, kill.
Where that's not the case at all.
No.
At all.
They're like loosely co-workers.
Yeah.
And always have positive things to say whenever asked. You know what? Honestly, I'd relate it to myself and Fudge Muppet. Because there seem to be a lot of like comments I'll see every once in a while, which is like, "Oh, you're like discount Fudge Muppet. God, grr, Fudge Muppet," or Sarge, like, "Oh, this side is better. No, this side is better." And every single interaction that like Scott, Michael, Drew, and I have ever had has been positive. We've all been very nice to each other, but online people like to see like anything similar or any connections and be like, "I'm this side, the other side is bad."
Yeah. It's silly.
There was another question I wanted to go over though, before I decided to tangent and trash.
Oh yeah, sure. Go for it. Do it.
Hired_Fug said, "How has the release of Cyberpunk 2077 influenced your team's philosophy towards releasing games?" And Todd replied to that saying, "I can only speak to the issues we've had, such as Fallout 76. We let people down and were able to learn and be better from it. We're fortunate 3 years later to have 76 be one of our most played games, and it's thanks to the 11 million players who have made it an incredible community. It's made us much better developers in the end." And that I like to see, because 76 had a terrible launch, and Bethesda is very open about the fact that, it was a bad launch and they aren't happy with how it launched.
Acknowledging it on multiple occasions instead of just making an apology tweet. Rockstar.
Bethesda's been consistent with that. But they also speak to the fact that, like, after a lot of time, it now does have a dedicated player base.
Yes.
Which is cool. And saying it's like the 11 million players. There's a lot of people who have played it. Really.
Yeah, that is a sizable amount of 76 players.
Yeah.
I haven't played 76 in a while, but it's primarily because there's no new story content stuff.
Yeah. I'll be playing it again once Expeditions come out. Apparently there's like a Mothman event coming maybe this month, so I might play that. But I was going to ask, are the 4 stars being introduced like
around the time of Expeditions 2?
Oh, I can't remember. Maybe.
I can't either.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm probably
'Cause they
going to
pushed
play
them back, right?
Expeditions. I think so. But I'm probably going to play Expeditions, and unless it's something like real game-changing that gets me fully invested again after Expeditions, I'll probably just uninstall the game to free up some space, because I feel like I've had my time with 76 now. Like, it's my most played Fallout game, and I've kind of reached the end of it. It's like, I've done enough. I don't need to worry about the grind and all of that. I'm cool with it now.
Todd Howard had Skyrim notes.
Skyrim notes?
Yeah, it's one of the things that somebody linked in here.
Which one is it? Go ahead and say it out loud so we can all hear.
Oh, sure. Okay, sorry.
This is an audio podcast.
Somebody
and also
commented.
we're not screen sharing, so none of us know but you.
Sorry. Somebody commented, "Hey Todd, massive fan here. I have a few questions. I'm going to only read the first one because it's several paragraphs. About the development of Skyrim, on the 25th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls, BGS tweeted Skyrim notes, and it is linked here. Let me link it to you. And this is in the Imperial Library, which is apparently just a log of everything text-oriented from the Elder Scrolls. The notes shown on Bethesda Game Studios Twitter on 25th of March 2019 as part of the 25th anniversary of the Elder Scrolls series celebration, originally written on 20th of June 2007. According to the tweet, these are from Todd Howard's design book, First Skyrim Entry 2007, transcribed, whatever.
Yeah.
Transcribed because it's chicken scratch, like any notes are.
Man, it's not good.
It looks like my notebooks.
Pro tip, a second tip of the day halfway through. If you're a person with bad handwriting and you want to start writing things that are legible to everyone, write in all caps. I've been doing it for the past few years, and every single thing I write is easy for everyone to read.
That is actually really helpful. If you're not Sarge, however, you can also just use Windows sticky notes and just type it out.
Yeah, you can also type stuff.
or do it like my Caedo Scratch that's accessible for patrons on my Discord, where I'm basically just copy pasting what I have on my sticky notes. So it's just a whole bunch of just info from the games that I'm making guides on and whatnot. So you get to see guides in their raw form, and somehow I make a video out of them sometimes. You should see my Skyrim Ultimate Leveling Guide notes, by the way. It's just a crap ton of bullet points, and I'm winging it for most of it. For close to an hour's worth of video. Like, it was ridiculous. Super worth it, though. So yeah, anyway, this shows different... It's the feel that Todd was going for, kind of, in their notes, because he has a strong focus on game feel. Like, that's kind of been their pillar, I guess, or one of their core things for Bethesda Studios, is game feel. What do we want players to feel as they're playing our game, kind of thing. And I learned this because he did a speech at George Mason University, which I also watched because somebody linked that, which I will also link.
So many links.
Yeah, this was a 2009. He went to George Mason University game development speech class thing. Those are words that I said. Anyway, yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing the very beginning notes of Skyrim.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty, spot on as well for the most part. It's almost like you show someone Skyrim one time, spin them around 20 times, and ask them to, write notes on what the game was. You'd get this.
Yeah.
Which is cool. There's, the Elder Scrolls Ultimate MacGuffins, use them. Scroll reg dragons is being manipulated to have them return. Player is secret god/hero. Has/learns the power of shouting. Secret/Jedi-like power. Mwadwib. See June.
Mwadib! Yeah!
Yeah. It's it's kind of cool to see. I like it.
He eats worm poop and gets amazing powers. Like Mwadib. That's how Dune works.
Yep.
Dune's weird, man. It's so
weird.
It's a weird book. It's a weird movie, I'm sure, but I still want to watch it, by the way.
I've not watched the recent one. The old one was enough weirdness for me.
I heard the newer one is a is a great spectacle.
Yeah.
And also from Corridor Crew, at least, that some of the shots that they did were freaking amazing. But that's all I've learned from it so far. Have you listeners seen the Dune movie, the new one? How was it? No spoilers, please, because I still want to see it.
Yeah. My favorite Dune movie is the South Park episode.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's very good. The Space Melange. Oh, it's beautiful. There is one more comment from Miss AMA I wanted to touch on. With Elder Scrolls Sweet Roll says, I read that the goal of Starfield is that it will be more of a hardcore RPG. Can you verify this and flesh it out in more detail? Does that mean that the character creation will be more complicated like it was in Morrowind and Oblivion? And Todd replied, actual Starfield information.
Yeah. I thank you for mentioning this, because I totally forgot that this was one of the actually really good answers.
Yeah. It doesn't actually... I'd like more to have been covered here, because the answer's about the same length as a question.
Yeah.
Definitely could have been more said, but Todd replied saying, really excited about what the team has done with character creation here, including choosing background, skills, etc. You can also pick your pronoun, he, she, they, and we've recorded all the relevant dialogue to support that choice. It's nice to hear the dialogue getting multiple choices. That is always something I'm a fan of. Mm-hmm. And the background, skills, etc., that etc. I feel is taunting me. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
You get to choose a background. Interesting. I'm imagining that'll be kind of Outer Worlds style thing, where you pick, I'm from this background, so I get this perk. Skills is almost a nothing word to some extent. It could mean so many different things.
Yeah.
But it seems to show that when you create your character, there will be, some proper choices you lock in at the start, as opposed to, Skyrim and Fallout. Fallout to a less degree, but Skyrim in particular, you just pick the race of your character and then work on leveling up.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the initial character creator is going to be a bit more important than what we've seen in a lot of previous Bethesda games.
Yeah, and we'll get to find out, probably when it gets closer, whether or not it's a Mass Effect background type thing, where it is brought up throughout the entire story, and you get to choose between 3 to 5. I think it's 3 actually in Mass Effect. 3 backgrounds that get referred to. Yeah. Or if it's closer to just like a flavor thing, like Wasteland 3, where it may have a little effect on your skills, but you just get a text box worth of backstory, and then you're off and running and nobody talks about it.
They could do a Dragon Age thing where it makes up the intro to the entire game if they wanted.
Yeah.
Or what Cyberpunk did as well, where you have the intro and then the game starts and it doesn't really matter. My hope is that it's going to be much more just a small flavor thing, mild changes to some stats possibly. I don't want it to be too consuming. I don't want it to be referenced too much, because one of my favorite things about a lot of Bethesda games, but especially the Elder Scrolls games, is that they're very open-ended on backstory, and I love it.
They let you have a broad backstory because it's left vague by design,
and it makes it so much better for writing characters. Writing a Skyrim character backstory is easy. Writing a Fallout 4 character backstory, you suddenly have to do this curveball where you end up living in suburbia with a spouse and child. Mm-hmm. The less you put in solid information on the past, the better.
Yep, fully agree.
Or you can go for the outlandish choice of making a lore which makes zero sense at all, so you don't need to worry about any contradictions because nobody understands it anyway, which I like to refer to as the From Software model.
That's where you were going with that. I thought this was going to be some weird segue to the Game Awards.
No, we got Elden Ring to mention first.
That's right. Oh man, my bad.
Yeah, we can't miss over not Dark Souls because it's more open world now.
Because it's the not Dark Souls game made by the Dark Souls developers.
Yeah.
Who also made a really weird game called Metal Wolf Chaos XD, which is definitely nothing like anything they've ever made ever since then.
I genuinely remember that game. Yeah.
It is.
That's the one where you're like the president in a mech suit, right?
You're the president of the United States in a mech suit, and you're fighting the vice president. It's ridiculous. It's a From Software game.
Honestly, they've been downhill since that point.
Because the ham is entertaining for the first hour or so. Then it gets really, really annoying. I wish I enjoyed it all the way through, but I only played it for about an hour and a half to 2 because it got pretty repetitive after a bit, and the checkpoints were terrible. Anyway, yeah, Elden Ring. Sorry, From Software, Elden Ring, their newest game in the niche that they're actually really, really good at is an open world Souls-like that, from what I've heard, has a class system too. Does the previous Souls games have?
I mean, sort of.
classes?
Yeah, you pick the character you play as, like knight, mercenary, deprived.
Okay.
It sounds very similar to that. Like, honestly, the big changes, from what I can tell, is it's open world, and that's about it.
Okay.
There's sneaking as well. There's like an element of stealth you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You get like a magic horse with horns. Like, honestly, it's a kind of game where if you like Dark Souls, it's for you. If you don't like Dark Souls, it's not for you. However, there are some small changes. So if you're someone who's like almost liking Dark Souls, like you wish Dark Souls was just a tiny bit more open and had a horse, then hey, now here's the game. Or if you're like, oh no, I only want Dark Souls to be exactly how it is, and I don't want it to change in any ways, then it's not for you.
I did watch through some of the Elden Ring gameplay, and there's a lot of world to explore.
Yeah.
It's a nice big map. However, it's gonna be one of those hardcore, like they like their boss fights. They like messing up their players really hard.
Yep.
So this one's a 50-50 for me, because I despise Souls-like games. I have tried. I played one all the way through just to make sure I don't like them.
Why'd you play it all the way through?
It was the Surge. I've told you this story before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one that, especially because the Surge had it's not a From Software game, by the way, but it had a really good setup for the protagonist too, which they did nothing with, and it annoyed the crap out of me just because of that too. But after that point, I was just like, nah, I'm done. I'm not gonna play any more Souls-like games. But then Elden Ring comes out with this, or it shows everybody this amazing open world that you can explore and stuff like that. And exploration is one of the things that's just like, oh, I'm so into, but I'm probably not going to get to explore this world because I don't want to be punished by it at the same time. Yeah.
You get to explore the first area, which you will never escape.
So it may be more of a vicarious thing where I watch somebody else abuse themselves and play through Elden Ring.
Yep. Elden Academy is what I'm looking forward to.
That's true. Yeah, the outside extra / outside Xbox crew are taking are taking Ellen through all of them, right?
I don't think so. Ellen's already beat Dark Souls 1 and has done 2 live streams of Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
So I think they're skipping 2. They'll probably do Elden Ring, but there's no guarantees. It's very much based around if Ellen enjoys it and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. If she, decided to play 3 after beating 1.
Yeah,
right. It could just be torture Ellen streams, but I hope not.
Of course not. No, it's neither of us are gonna play this game. Let's face it. So we are just gonna watch other people play it and hopefully derive some entertainment that way.
Yep. Yeah, that's probably how it's going to be. I would like to know who is stoked for Elden Ring, because there's Dark Souls fans. They come out of the woodwork, the Souls-like fans. Whenever something new is happening. So if you are stoked for Elden Ring, what did you think of the gameplay? Have you watched somebody do the network test? which is something very smart that many developers should do, by the way. That could turn into a rant on its own. They did a network test to make sure everything was stable before their game releases, months before their game releases.
I will say on the whole, what do Dark Souls players think? I have seen, like, the people who have, like, been outspoken about this, I've seen a few of them who are genuinely in the it's not exactly the same as Dark Souls, it is trash, already has started somewhat. Like, obviously we can't see the like to dislike ratio on this video, thanks YouTube.
Of course.
So, who knows if that's like a big thing within Dark Souls players, or it's just some of the more Dark Souls purists, so to speak. We don't know, but I have seen some people who are just like, God, I can't believe it's not enough like Dark Souls. So, there are those people who think that way about it, but
yeah,
I think to us casual observers, it is Dark Souls, basically.
Yeah, I would say too, like every game franchise that has a fan base has their elitists. We are in the Fallout fan base. We know.
Oh yeah.
We know they exist. We just ignore them most of the time. So
I wish they ignored me.
Or make fun of them, which, you know, is kind of more fun.
I may or may not currently be collecting comments.
Hey, as long as it's kind of cathartic for you, like
it's for December, so it's all good.
Yeah. It's a Christmas gift to yourself. Okay. Well, developers at least are going to get a Christmas gift, some of them, because the Game Awards is happening December 8th, as far as I know, starting December 8th. And the nominees were announced for the Game Awards.
You can vote right now.
Yes, you can. I don't like how they did the voting.
Oh,
on their
you have
website.
to sign in.
You don't have to sign in, actually.
What? It says sign in to vote.
I can just start voting.
Well, okay, I'm gonna click on something and see. No, it makes me sign in.
I clicked on nominees and now I can either start voting or view all categories.
Okay, actually go on the start voting, and then it'll tell you to sign in.
Nope.
Well, okay, try and put a vote for your game of the year.
Okay, then I have to sign in.
There we go.
But I'm just looking at them, so I'm not...
You can look at them without being signed in.
Yeah.
But if you want to vote, you have to sign in.
Okay, well, sign in if you want to vote, but we're going to probably go over some of the categories anyway that matter. Yeah. So,
and I'm not going to vote because I'm pretty sure I've played 0 of the games that are on here.
Yeah, I've played none of the Game of the Year contenders.
Yep.
None of them.
And those contenders are...
Oh, I thought you were going to say them.
Oh, I was going to let you do it.
you say them.
Okay, we have Deathloop by Arcane Studios, It Takes Two by Hazelight Studios, Metroid Dread by Mercury Steam, Psychonauts 2 by Double Fine, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart by Insomniac Games, and Resident Evil Village by Capcom.
Yeah. From what I hear, from all of these games, like, they are contenders. For sure.
Yeah.
But I just haven't played any of them.
Yeah, I don't look at any of them and go, oh god, how did that get on here? Like, the one I've heard least about is Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah, and
but that's about
probably
it.
Probably primarily because that was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
But then again, Metroid Dread is a Nintendo exclusive, so. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so that's the Game of the Year contenders. Best game direction is actually quite similar. It's Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So
they
Returnal is the only...
swap that Resident Evil for Returnal.
Yeah.
And they're both kind of horror shootery games, so they've got a similar feel to them to an extent.
To an extent. Returnal is roguelike, whereas Resident Evil is just
terrible.
Horror. No, they got better. They got better. After 7.
I'm only being mean to it because I've not played it and I know nothing about it.
So Sarge is being fine. He's being that one special kind of elitist that's just like, I don't like it. Have you played it? No.
Like, unless I've played it and happen to like it and have heard nothing about it beforehand to take my opinion, it sucks.
Not because I've tried it, but because I'm scared of new things. Yeah. Anyway, best
narrative.
There it is.
Also has Deathloop, It Takes Two, and Psychonauts 2. So those games are gonna win something, I feel like.
Yep.
But also gets Life is Strange True Colors and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. So those came out this year.
Yep. Best art direction. It does include a game I've played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Which one did you play?
The Artful Escape.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got art in the name.
Yeah. Yes. I would hope it would be in best art direction.
And Beethoven made it. Man, he's been quiet for a long time. It's nice to see he's busy doing stuff again.
Beethoven and Dinosaur is the name of the developers. Yeah. And Caedo Bridge of Spirits, as well as Deathloop, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
So many of the same games.
Yeah, that's art direction.
If you get Game of the Year nominee, you're going to win something, it seems. Best Score in Music only has one of the Game of the Year nominees, though, with Deathloop, who has not missed out on a category yet. Yeah, which is... These are pretty good for suggestions. Artful Escape was a music-oriented game that I played, and I was glad to see it in at least two of the nominations. Cyberpunk 2077, I have the soundtrack. I listen to it fairly regularly. If there's anything that Cyberpunk did really, really well, has nothing to do with the gameplay itself, it's the soundtrack. It's fan-freaking-tastic. Very good. Like, I'm making a Cyberpunk video after this PIPCAST, and the thing I'm looking forward to most is picking the soundtrack to go along with it. Yeah. Oh man. And then along with the rest of the best score in music are Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Nier Replicant. I've been hit and miss with the Nier games soundtracks. Nier Automata had some good songs, but yeah, I'm sure Nier Replicant has some good ones as well. I feel like that's one of those series where they have the same composer every single time. Best audio design: Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. Yeah, haven't played them. No, it just gets me how many of the same games you see. Yeah. And then we get into best performances. Ooh, games These aren't the same people, although two of the people here were in Deathloop. Deathloop's in everything. Yeah. Man, place your bets now, people. How many awards is Deathloop going to win? We're like 7 categories deep, and I'm pretty sure Deathloop's been in all of them. You know, I know they get a few hundred, like, they send a few hundred voting things out to different game journalist places and stuff, or game journalists, game community people. But I wonder if there's a prerequisite for like playing all the games in the categories, or like if it's going to be strongly biased based on what they've played. I'm kind of curious about that, actually. I feel like strongly biased. Yeah, I mean, it is. A lot of Piers, who is an amazing games commentator and developer at this point, also has it mentioned like this is still all extremely subjective. Like if you don't agree with the awards that are being given out, or even the nominees, like it's still just opinions. Like it's like, not to be taken as anything more than that. If you respect somebody's opinion, maybe check the games out. But if you don't agree, like that's fine. Yeah, if you have a Twitter account, Facebook account, Google account, or Twitch account, you can vote in this. Like, that is the requirement. Just have one of those 4 accounts, which, let's face it, everyone listening will have 1 out of 4 of those at least. Yes, at least. It's not Facebook anymore, though, it's Meta. Oh, Meta, whose logo is the F. God damn it. It's so stupid. We already talked about that in the last episode, though. So yeah, best performance. I haven't played the games that have these people in it, so no, kind of skip on that one. Games for Impact are showing quite a bit of different options here. For a thought-provoking game with a prose, social meaning, or message. That's a bit more of an interesting category.
Yeah, it is.
Like, this, I get why, like, the Game of the Year things don't make it in here. Because, like, what's Deathloop's message? Don't die and respawn. Like,
don't get caught in a time loop, obviously.
Yeah. Top 10 tips to not get caught in a time loop.
Don't be a security guard caught in a time loop.
No.
Ah, it's the worst. That's my personal hell right there. Well, you got a 12-hour shift. And a 12-hour shift starts over again. That would be actual hell. Anyway, Life is Strange True Colors is the only repeat on Games for Impact. You then have Before Your Eyes, which is by Goodbye World Games. Boyfriend Dungeon by Kit Fox Games. Chicory, A Colorful Tale by a bunch of people.
Yeah.
A Shell in the Pit and stuff. And No Longer Home, which is by Humble Grove, Honolulu Cell Division. I think that's because there's such a small indie team that they can include all of their names.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like, I like seeing more indie games get be part of a awards category.
Yeah. I mean,
because
you'll love the
means...
next category then.
Yeah, and there's going to be best on... What? No.
Best ongoing.
No.
Where
Sarge,
big games that constantly
you tricked me, Sarge.
Sorry, I just love the contrast. How you go from these small indie games with such a meaningful message to Fortnite, Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14.
Best ongoing.
Yep.
Most people don't care at this point. They're still ongoing. Yeah. Just go play them.
Like, hey, if you still play these games, cool.
And then after that is something better. Best indie, which is several new ones too, which is 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kena Bridge of Spirits again, and Loop Hero. I have still wanted to play Death's Door quite a bit. You're playing as a Crow Reaper, which is pretty cool.
I am.
Huh? Yes?
I love how they're formatting these. I've clicked to the next category, and after, like, best indie game, it's best mobile game presented by Verizon.
Oh my god.
This is beautiful. I want to kiss the comedic genius that came up with organizing this. It just goes from, like, super small, yeah, we cherish the developers, to corporate. Just...
Yeah.
I could have structured this so much better.
This is definitely a roller coaster. I think
and
that's
then,
by design.
Oh my god! Right after presented by Verizon, you get best community support. This cannot be by accident.
For outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Okay.
Oh my god! And then the next one's presented by Chevrolet. Oh.
Of course, innovation and accessibility. It's a good category. It's a really good category.
Yeah. Oh.
But I haven't played any of these games. So the only new one on this list is The Veil Shadow of the Crown, which I haven't heard of at all, actually. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm honestly now just clicking through to see if there's anything particularly interesting. But after, like, a few of the standard ones, it starts going a bit more into just, here's the genre this has been put into, here are the games. Nothing crazy standing out to me. Like, a lot of the games I don't recognize. Like, on the best fighting category, I have never heard of any of these games. It's just like, cool. Those games apparently released this year? It's like a yearly thing, right? The Game Awards? Right, Caedo?
Huh? Say again?
A yearly thing?
Yes.
Happens each year?
Yes.
Okay.
It's purely audio. Never mind.
Oh.
That's why it's in this category. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe I should turn on the audio before I judge. Yeah, The Veil Shadow of the Crown seems like an interactive audiobook type thing, which is a first-person action RPG where you're guided by audio.
Okay.
So I'm going to call that Hellblade Light.
All right. I have skipped through to Content Creator of the Year, where I have bad news. Neither of us made it.
Dang it.
I'm shocked and appalled. Hashtag the Game Awards is over party. All of that stuff.
Hashtag cancel the Game Awards.
Yep. Why aren't we nominated? This is an outrage. There's only one person on this who I've heard of, which is Dream, who I've heard of just because I feel like everyone's heard of Dream.
Mm-hmm.
The others are Fusli, Ghouls, eBay, and Griff. Like, I don't even know how to pronounce any of their names. I've never seen, like, even a still image of these four people before. Like, no disrespect to any of them. Like, I'm sure they've done some good. It even says, for a streamer or content creator who has made an important and positive impact on the community. But I have no idea who these people are.
Mm-hmm. We're not knowledgeable enough.
No.
Which is okay. We're not in the know as we thought. We just know about the games that we cover, and that's pretty much that's why we watch the Game Awards, because it tells us what we don't know.
Yeah. Something I quite like is most anticipated game. Starfield's in there, which I guess that's like the only thing I could vote for. But they've got Elden Ring as the most anticipated, which is like the only one out of the 5 which has actually been playable in some extent. So I do wonder if that'll change things at all. Yeah,
because that's early next year when it actually releases.
Yeah.
But yeah, all these God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I like how that's the title they're going with. I am disappointed that Dying Light 2 is not there. Because over the years, Dying Light has gotten a lot more than just a little cult following. Because people are realizing, hey, this is a really good zombie game.
It's not got enough of a following, though. Still isn't good enough.
Well, let's hope Dying Light 2 gets blows expectations out of the water. Let's hope. And it doesn't come out a broken, buggy mess.
Yeah. All of the final stuff in the Game Awards is esports.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah, like the final 5 categories, I think. Yeah, are all just esports related.
I feel like anything I talk about esports wise is stupid and uninformed, so I might as well not at all.
One of the people's nickname is Simp.
Nice.
That's all I want to have.
Great.
Although, quite funny, another person's nickname is Simple. So Simp and Simple are both nominated.
Are they on the same team?
I don't know.
Because that would be confusing and hilarious.
Anyone out there into esports? I think for us, they're a no-go.
Yeah. Ooh, you're an anonymous dragon, Sarge. That's cool.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the first time I've seen that.
Well, speaking of dragons, you want to play Skyrim again? Come on, it's cheaper this time.
Joke's on you, we already did.
Oh. Yeah, we also bought it once and got it twice or possibly 3 times.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of nice.
Interesting. So it appears, because Sarge and I experienced almost the exact same thing. Yeah. We got the upgrade on Game Pass. That means that we could play it free on Game Pass, but also get the upgrade for $20 to play it.
Or £13 for me.
Yeah, even I guess cheaper for Sarge.
Yeah. Well, it's 10% off on Game Pass as well.
Oh yeah.
So it was knocked off a little bit, hopefully for you as well.
I don't remember. Anyway, so we got it on Game Pass, and then it logs you into your Bethesda account too with the Creation Club stuff, so it can install all of it. But it turns out that it's attached to your. It seems like it's attached to your Bethesda account, because when I fired it up on Steam, it installed everything again.
Yep.
And then I had to manually go into my Skyrim folder after uninstalling and reinstalling and being like, what the heck happened? And remove the stuff from the data folder that was those CC things, just to make sure that my vanilla quote unquote saves were still fine.
Yeah,
and
man,
not
the
gonna
Creation
be-
Club, like, the biggest improvement it can have is same as the mod list, just a button to turn things on and off.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, if Bethesda implemented that, I feel like half of all the issues people have with Creation Club would instantly go away.
And an indicator on saves.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
That would be nice. Yeah. Just be like the pre-Creation Club save or Creation Club save. Like that would be cool. Or anniversary save, it should say. That would be neat. So, aside from the weird technical bullcrap that we had to deal with, should we get the negative out of the way first?
Okay.
I don't know if you've had anything negative. Like we've been enjoying it, but I'm sure there's been, some things that weren't so great that came along with Anniversary Edition. The lack of clear instructions or install or whatever as per your Skyrim rant.
Yeah, I mean, I made an entire rant video because the marketing and all of the lead up to Skyrim Anniversary Edition was bad. Just flat out bad. It was not clear. Prices were not given until like 4 days before it came out, I think. Even like on the day it came out, people were confused. I streamed it for like over the weekend, kind of, where it came out, and I was having people constantly like complaining, thinking that like the Anniversary Edition was the free upgrade when the free upgrade was actually 4 pieces of Creation Club content, because that wasn't clear and tons of people had got their wires crossed. Like, unless you were at least as involved as we were, you just wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
It just was done badly.
Yep.
And like, when the people who cover this as their job aren't like 100% clear on everything, how is a person who's trying to like work a standard job, has like other hobbies, has like a family or whatever to look after as well, and wants to play some Skyrim, how are they supposed to have any idea about what's happening?
Yeah. All a bit confusing. You streamed a couple of times, and this was a question pretty regularly answered on your stream, was, what do I get for Special Edition? Or what is Anniversary Edition worth it? That was probably a big one, right?
Yeah, I think I even titled like my first stream, "Is Skyrim Anniversary Edition worth it?" And it's like my second most viewed video of the year because of
yeah,
that.
dude. Your first stream was huge.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It did fairly well. And then got copyright claimed.
Oh.
Which is fun. Yeah, I got in touch with some Vault of Daedalus Bethesda UK community employer for that, though. And it was like, yeah, don't worry, we'll get rid of it. But no, it's still in dispute because they haven't actually released it.
Oh,
Polaris, come on. You told me on Twitter it was fine. It doesn't matter to me right now. But yeah, I got copyright claimed for, the Skyrim song?
Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, the one which we're allowed to use and is all fine.
Yeah.
I got claimed for it.
Yeah, I have my own background music just to avoid.
It's 100% fine though, like...
Oh yeah, I know, but there's always that weird thing where they're just like, is it fine? And then they freaking claim it anyway.
Yeah.
Until they know, which is annoying.
They do know now, and they didn't stop claiming it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. But it's fine, because I'm not making money out of it.
Yeah, it was a live stream. If you were making money, it would have been during.
Yep.
So, anyway. For just the negative stuff, getting out of the way, I have had it crash a lot of times while there's been... At first, I thought it had to do with the Aeternach Stone and all of the magic effects being absorbed, because on many occasions when I was getting hit with a bunch of spells, the game would just crash. And previously, when I was making my leveling guide, if you get too spammy with certain spells, it will crash the game. So it was already kind of unstable with a bunch of spells being cast at the same time. Or different spell effects being affected by different things. So I had that kind of assumption already. But then I jumped in, yesterday, and it crashed from the title screen.
Oh, fun.
Like right after I fired my recording software up, and the Skyrim logo changed to the kind of golden bronze color, it just crashed immediately. I was like, oh, interesting.
Is this on Game Pass?
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard reports of people saying that the Game Pass version crashes a lot more.
Oh, great.
I've only had a couple of crashes, and both of them were on Game Pass. I'm now playing on Steam, due to like a recording issue with the Game Pass, unfortunately. And on Steam, I don't think I've had any crashes. The one issue I've had is that I'll sometimes boot up the game, and it'll just like do like the infinite loading thingy before it gets to the main title menu.
Oh.
And I have to like task manager out of it and then boot it back up. But when I do boot it back up, it loads like instantly. So it's very quick for me to figure out.
Okay. So maybe it's Game Pass. Maybe I'll move my saves back over to Steam and see what happens and then install all the stuff. Because I've committed at this point. Like I've already recorded a bunch of this stuff in Skyrim.
I was initially wanting to have like Game Pass be my anniversary edition and Steam be just like baseline Skyrim special edition. However, after playing for a bit, I'm just like, no, I'm just going to be an anniversary edition now. I don't need to do like any contrast videos. Other people are doing those. There's nothing in like anniversary edition that screws up the game so much for me that I can't play it as standard if need be. Like, I can work with it.
Because they did care enough to not bombard players as soon as they escape Helgen with all of the CC content.
Yeah.
Which is probably among my favorite things. Where
it means a lot of it you just find naturally.
Yeah, it's discoverable instead of which is part of my jam about these games. Like, is discovering things.
Yeah,
so, I'm
literally just last night I was playing Skyrim and came across like the Thief player home, which I wasn't aware of. And I messaged Caedo about it and was like, I found this. And then Caedo sent me on a journey to discover another thing, which I did instantly because it wasn't hidden well enough. Yeah, that's right. As soon as I knew something was hidden, I worked it out.
If you talk to Veckel the Man in the Thieves Guild, what's the name of the place he's in? I forgot. The Cistern?
Maybe.
Is that
I can't remember what it's actually called. Like, it's the Ratways is the whole kind of area. I'm not sure what the name of like the bar is.
Yeah, but he has a new option to buy a player home for 7,500 gold. Yeah. That was a pleasant surprise because I had no idea where it was initially, but I had to go down the Ratway for a quick second to get that face rearranger person miscellaneous thing out of my miscellaneous. So
see, I went there just to turn in a quest to Veckel. Because I went to Ingvild, I think it was, and it turns out he is the person who generally sends you there. But I went to Ingvild because Caedo told me to.
Oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that as well for the journals.
Yeah, and then after picking up the journals, it was like, hey, go to the Ratways and Riften, which you've never entered before. Yeah, I was like, cool.
And he's like, this man knows you for some reason.
Yeah.
The catching up on quests we never started. So negative stuff out of the way.
I got one more negative.
Oh, negative. Okay.
One more. Final negative is general balance of the game is now off.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, there's a bit of a contrast. Like, the Lordstone now has some very powerful bandits around it. Random bandits as well will have like fire arrows on them, which can decimate you.
Yep.
Those things are lethal. Like, yes. I've got a build which actually will have come out yesterday as of when this comes out. And it's like a character who, right at the start of the game, can get some of the best armor. Cool. Which has like huge amounts of fire resistance. And I got shot with fire arrows on that character and died.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, if you decide to play on like legendary difficulty, expect to die.
Oh, legendary difficulty.
Randomly.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I started out in legendary. I went down to master, and the annoying thing is, because the character's so strong, because they just use equipment you can get super easy, that was added in with Anniversary Edition, they slaughter everything that they come across, but some of the enemies are ridiculously overpowered as well, because they get the new gear. Like, everything's just stronger, and it's not really made to be balanced in any way.
There's some severe imbalance. I haven't seen mages use any of the new spells. I don't think that was really feasible, but equipment, yes. Enemies do use some of the new equipment. I did also find insulated dragon plate on a bandit leader before that was even close to my level loot.
So, level 2, I got dragon scale, because that's super easy.
Yeah, so...
Technically, you don't even need to fight for it. You can just run to the place, unlock the door, take it out of chest, leave.
Oh, you're talking about, like, the side...
Yeah, the little
alternative armor thing?
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm talking about, like, showing up on bandit chiefs.
On random enemies.
Like, much earlier than you would expect.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I was... Since the first guide, technically, that I'm doing is on the alternative armors, like, you can tell as you start to go through them, especially the ones that are enchanted, are extremely powerful. And really easy to get.
Ooh,
like, you just, a lot of the time, you just have to kill one dude or find a chest that contains all of it.
Yeah.
And, like, you're good for a while. I ended up with silver armor pretty early, and that's on par with... Silver armor's brand new, by the way. It's in alternative armors, but it's brand new, so I'm really happy to include that. You can get it, like, as soon as you hit Whiterun, basically. And it's on par with steel plate, which is... You won't be at that point when you get to Whiterun for crafting. Or you would have just done a lot of grinding beforehand. But... like, yeah, and it's just a step below Nordic carved armor. So, like, good stuff early on, even if it's not enchanted.
It's all a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just remembered another negative.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry about, but it's the notes. The notes and Malacca voice acting.
Yeah.
Like, you will get... Your inventory will be 90% notes with Anniversary Edition.
I feel like that's...
Everything's done with notes.
I was going to say that I feel like that's the argument for calling it paid mods, because that's probably the major thing that makes it feel like a mod more so than, like, actual official content.
Yeah, it feels a lot less integrated, especially when Mai gives you a note which is like 10 pages long, and you just stand there next to him reading it, and it's as if he was speaking it, but it's written. And that's how every note goes.
Yeah.
Just like every character in the game is like, here is a note of what I would normally say, which I cannot say because the lines aren't in the game.
Yes. Finding notes on their own is a little bit easier. Getting bounties from innkeepers makes a bit more sense. But when it's the NPC you're getting the job from and they hand you a note, it's like, okay, yeah, we know you can't speak these words.
Yeah. Like, a few of the quests are meant to be, like, more narrative/story driven, and they do not work very well because of the whole note system. Like, some of the stuff works. Like, when there's a visual point needing to be made, it's like, sweet, I totally get this. But as soon as, like, the quest maker decided there needed to be, like, information just exposited, everything falls apart. Because you just read it through 20 pages. And, I'm gonna say it, throwing some shade here, a lot of the writing is not very good.
Yeah. Some of it's, yeah, not so great.
Yeah, some of it is fine. A couple of bits I was like, oh, this is fairly well written. But more often than not, I was finding it to be very clunky.
I did enjoy the alternative armors quests, like the Crimson Dirks stuff. Like that read, most of that read pretty well.
Yeah, that's one of the better ones.
Yeah.
I think that works well because they're all quite short quests as well.
Yeah.
They don't have to say they're well.
It's got a whole book series too.
Yeah.
Like 7 volumes. So you can dive into some new lore if you want to. That's for sure. But yeah, some of the other stuff, some of the other side missions. I remember one of the quests being like, oh, it was for the farms, the plantation player home. It's like somebody was writing, what was that sound? Like, nobody writes that.
Yeah.
Nobody writes that.
Yeah, that one I feel stands out even more as well, because like the contextual stuff is really well done.
Yeah.
And then as soon as people are writing, it's like, no, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Why did you ruin this?
Yeah. And it's even got a cool backstory. As long as you look past the weird writing choices. Anyway, is that it? Is that all the negative?
That's all
stuff?
of the negative.
Okay, let's get to
the negative.
Let's get to the crap that we enjoyed, because there's a crap ton of stuff to enjoy in Anniversary Edition. I need to point out before we get too far in that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 new pieces of content that are brand new to every version of Skyrim if you get Anniversary.
Yep.
Like 16 completely brand new things that were not in the Creation Club up until now, that you get with Anniversary too, along with all the other Creation Club stuff for Anniversary. So there were some two really cool things, really interesting new things added. I say two, but I'm more just talking about the cause, which is the level 46 thing, because I just did that yesterday or the day before, and I enjoyed that a lot.
It's a cool little thing. That's actually the example I was thinking of about when the kind of visual and contextual stuff is done really well.
Yeah.
But maybe the writing isn't quite on point.
Yeah, not super amazing.
But the actual visual side of it, the visual storytelling and all of that, and the stuff you just pick up by walking through, brilliant. Like, that's actually a quest which is better if you don't read the notes.
Yeah,
you can figure it all out pretty much.
Yep. It tells you what's going on. Well. If you've played Oblivion, you know exactly what's happening.
Oh, yes.
But I was a little disappointed towards the end when you couldn't do the whole process of going through an Oblivion gate, which kind of bummed me out a little bit. But I did really enjoy it still. The contest, which was another one. This one's relatively short. It's basically two dudes that get into an argument, and they go to settle their differences by killing a giant spider. Attempting to kill a giant spider.
I've not done that one yet.
Okay, I won't spoil it then. But it results in some pretty sweet gear that encourages unarmed style fighting.
Oh, cool.
Yes. One of them.
I will say as well, on the note of me having not done that, is that just the sheer quantity of stuff and the fact you aren't just instantly bombarded with it does make it so there's a lot to experience, and that you will just naturally experience a lot of it as you go through the game.
Yeah, I will say too that the majority of this is found either in inns or in guards barracks.
Yeah,
like that's two of the pretty average places that you'll find these notes.
Or the courier gets you.
Or the courier sneaks up on you and hands you items.
Yeah.
S in parentheses most of the time.
Yep. Item open bracket S close bracket. Good luck finding it.
Yeah, make sure to store the things that you're done reading in your player home or wherever, or just drop them, whatever you want to do, because you're gonna have so many notes in your inventory.
Player homes.
Oh yeah,
I want to give a shout out.
Oh sure.
Because I do think they're a bit balance breaking as well, to be honest, because there are so many high tier items in them.
Yep.
But they're really cool. They're themed ones. Like we already mentioned the thief one. There's a couple of different mage ones, like a vampire style one. There's just like a nice casual homestead as well. They're really quite cool.
And they have a lot of them have spaces for collectibles too. Yeah,
specific ones.
Yeah.
Like, if you've got Oriel's bow, there is a specific place for Oriel's bow to go.
Yeah. All the Dragon Priest masks, all of them, not just the vanilla ones, but all of them. As well as a spot for Dragon Claws in some of them.
Yeah.
Really good. really good stuff. And well decorated. Like the ones that are prefab, like you don't build them up at all. I think the only one that you do build up is the plantation, which I have been enjoying.
You spent so much time on it.
Doing a little bit of number crunching on the plantation. But the preset player homes that like have everything furnished and whatnot, where you don't have to buy a bunch of upgrades. It's pretty nice. I would say, Sarge, you I think you did the Blood Chill Manor. I'm gonna forget the name of that place every single time.
Yeah.
That one was probably the hardest to get if you're playing normally.
Yeah. Because
there's a vampire in there that is well above level 12, and you get invited to level 12.
Yeah.
Like, I complained to Sarge about this as soon as I did it, I think. Because it was
and I had no idea what the problem was, because I was at level 81 with all of my skills maxed.
Yep.
So I was like, what's the issue?
Doesn't matter to Sarge. This is why I tend to play things from the beginning to get some extra context.
For me, I was literally just going through to see what all the equipment was like.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing to do too, but like,
yeah,
dude, this just one of them, just one dude. Freaking lightning bolts your face off. Takes like 3 shots and you're dead. I had to use a scroll of mass paralysis and then turn into a werewolf while he was paralyzed. Then keep knocking him down as a werewolf just to make sure I survived. Like, I don't like resorting to cheap tactics like that usually, but this dude was resorting to cheap tactics of being like 3 times my level. So yeah. Anyway, so beware of Blood Chill Manor. The rest of them are pretty easy to get. You get an invite to the one on the Reach, Hendraheim, relatively early too, right?
I don't know, because I always stumble across it and just kill the person.
Yeah, but it's just one person you face off with, and it's kind of, they're almost bandit level, like maybe bandit chief level. Yeah,
they're very easy. They're all on their own. It's in a nice open area. Like, it's basically a free player home. Yeah. Like, a couple of the homes you get are free. Like, you need to fight either a chorus or essentially a bandit chief, and you just get a home. Mm-hmm. Which is just free.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about, have you gotten any of the pets? Because you can store so many pets in the player homes.
Oh, you can just fill your house with animals.
You can. They had the pets of Skyrim as well as some like outlier ones. Pets of Skyrim includes a goat, a skeever, a spider, and a fox
and a rabbit.
And a rabbit. So that's 5. And then from Saints and Seducers, you have the 2 Elytras, the Demented and Manic one. And then you have the Nyx Hound from Solstheim.
Yep. The Dwarven Armored Mud Crab as well.
I have refused to get that until the very end because I am still annoyed that thing exists.
Why?
Because it's ridiculous.
So bad about that?
It's ridiculous. Just hang out near Calcelmo.
All of the other stuff is not ridiculous, is it?
No.
What? The Dwarven Mud Crab, I'd say, is less ridiculous than some of the stuff. Like the Mantis Nymph, whatever they are.
What?
Make no sense.
The Elytras?
Yeah.
Why?
They're like Sheogorath demonic little creature things.
Yeah, they were pulled from his realm.
Yeah, how are you being like, the thing that came from an entirely different realm and is crazy and stuff? That I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But a mug crab, which someone managed to make armor for in a place that's like renowned for the Dwemer and all of that,
I mean,
that's out of this world.
Is there an actual explanation that comes along with it, or is it just like a...
I'm not reading all the notes, man.
Okay, fine.
I've read too many notes.
Okay, fine.
But that was an early one. Like, that I can easily, like, justify.
All right, like, fine. I'll get the crab eventually, anyway, because I may do a guide on those too. I haven't gotten Bone Wolf yet either.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bone Wolf.
Or the Wild Horses.
Oh, I hate the wild horses.
Those could be
Such a
separate,
pain.
I think.
It's such a pain.
Yeah.
Just trying to find them. Yeah. There's horse armor now as well, which everyone's super
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
about.
I can't put it on the reindeer. Makes me very disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Dwarven
Like,
woman.
horse armor and saddles for your horses are both completely pointless, like cosmetics.
Yep.
But
Just like
a
they
lot
were in
of this
Oblivion.
stuff, yeah, a lot of this stuff is just like, oh, why would you ever buy it individually? But because it's as part of a package deal, it's like, better to have it than not have it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more of a that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
As an option, I'm probably never gonna use it.
Yeah.
Then there's like the more content heavy stuff. Like or more like quest based reward type stuff. Dawnfang and Duskfang. Dawnfang / Duskfang. Really awesome sword. Pretty dang cool quest. I liked that one a lot. And the reward is really cool too, mechanically. Let's see. Camping is a default thing now, so survival mode has like all the benefits of extra Creation Club stuff to keep you
Yeah.
alive. in
Survival mode's a
Skyrim.
lot more approachable now.
Yeah.
Between camping and fishing, like, survival mode is just a million times easier. Plus, for easy player homes, actually. Like, my very first build was a survival mode build for that reason.
Let's see. I see Netch leather armor, but I haven't unlocked that one yet.
I've not tried any of the Solstheim stuff yet, which appears to be what, like, the two Skyrim channels I'm somewhat knowledgeable of, Skypothesis and Fudge Muppet.
Yeah, Fudge Muppet went right to Solstheim, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I am like 0% surprised there.
I kind of am too. I did find out like they're all about like Morrowind oriented stuff. Like that's where a lot of their love for the Elder Scrolls comes from.
Yeah.
Which
The guys at Fudge Muppet and Camel, I think both have made the joke about they played Morrowind, so therefore their job had to be covering Elder Scrolls.
Bunch of nerds, but like, but I think part of it also was they're jumping to a specific thing for the sake of being searched first. It's basically a smart move is what I'm saying. Because so many people are going to be covering Creation Club stuff. It's more of like picking and choosing what you cover first, so you get noticed for that very thing. And I think that's part of the reason why they decided to go that route instead of just being like, here's all the stuff, which is kind of, something they do a lot of the time too. Camel had a focus on fishing by hand.
Yep.
Which was really cool. Turns out you can catch every single fish you need for the quests by hand, and Camel did a guide on it. Look at that. I wonder if he already knew that you have to fish for the rings that are fishing only. Because that's probably gonna bum him out a little bit. Because not particularly patient for fishing, it sounds like, for Camel, but that's okay. We'll see what happens.
To be fair, you are literally the only person I know who has gone into fishing proper hard.
On multiple characters, too.
Yeah.
On my vanilla character, I did most of the questing first, just to get a recording for special edition players.
Like, Caedo's been streaming some Skyrim on his Discord server, and I feel like every time I've popped in, you've been fishing or doing something related to fishing.
I've gone past it a little bit. I now have the Hearthfire home with the fishery, or the fish hatchery.
Yeah, of course you do.
So I've put most of the fish that I've gotten on my Punch Cat character in the hatchery, so I don't have to just go catch them myself. I can just shout and grab all of them from the hatchery. That's how Dragonborn fishes. And then picks them all up. So yeah, I'm sure I'll do something fishing oriented too. Camel seems to be the first major one to the game for guide stuff. They had some other cool stuff that was added, like the Necromantic Grimoire, as well as there was a mage thing too, arcane accessories, which is and Plague of the Dead. Let's throw that one in there too. Those are all conjuration / caster oriented things that are added to the game, as well as just brand new spells. Which are, some of them are cool, some of them are really
some
cool.
of them seem very strong.
Yes,
like,
some
I've
of them
not really
are
played around them too much.
Some of them are really overpowered. Fenric's Welcome is one that I've been using. It's an expert level spell, but its cost is under 100 magicka, like naturally. At least I think it is. I could be misinterpreting, but it's a cheap spell for what it does. Because you can cast it, and then it makes you invisible, and then lets you unlock any door that is expert or lower, or any door or chest that's expert or lower, while you're under that effect. So
it's basically just the Tower Stone as a spell.
Yeah, or knock from D&D, but only on one door instead of a room full of doors that are locked. Been playing around with some of the summoning and necromancy spells, which were kind of fun. Necromantic Ritual I picked up yesterday, and it's actually really cool as an effect. It refunds magicka if one of your minions dies.
Ooh.
Yeah, and consistently. Like it doesn't feel like a gimmick at all. Like you cast that first and then go into combat with your minions and they die and you get a whole bunch of mana back. I think it was saying like 30 magicka, which is cool. That's really cool. That should be a thing for necromancers, and now it is. I don't know. What else did you find fun and interesting? Because there's just a ton. There's a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I'm enjoying like lots of different equipment, especially different equipment visually. Even just dressing up my followers in like steel soldier armor rather than steel armor, stuff like that. I'm enjoying. I mean, as a build maker, just having different equipment is a big deal, because I'm now making Skyrim builds a lot.
And there's a lot of new build stuff to build with.
Yeah. Like, the build that came out yesterday will have been for a Legion champion. The build that's coming out next week will be a Stormcloak champion.
Oh.
I've already been asked to make a Crusader build. I'm already working on a Skeleton Summoner build. I want to do an unarmed build at some point now, because I hadn't done one before, but there's a bit more incentive. Like, there's a lot of builds to do. Plus, I want to make builds for, like, the Steel Soldier and, like, Iron Soldier armors, I think they're called. I love how they look. Like, they're pretty low tier, but I do want to make builds for them.
They look really cool.
Aesthetically, they're probably my favorite.
Yeah. They look cool. I the silver armor, too. I like how the silver armor looks as well.
Yeah, I'm planning on probably doing, like, a silver-based mercenary, using, like, silver weapons and the silver armor.
Ooh, you could be a silver hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Silver hand from Silver Bloods.
Maybe.
There's a lot. And I will say, in terms of content, my goal is pretty much just to take it for the long one. Like, I did my initial, like, streaming over the weekend it first came out, and I made a quick build. And now I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to consistently make a bunch of builds and have them last for a few months at least. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Rather than going for, like, the quick views on the stuff, I'm like, no, if I'm here as one of them for the long haul, I've already got a bunch of old videos which are getting more views, so I'm letting the old stuff catch all the search terms, and for the new stuff, I'm just kind of taking my time with what I like.
Yeah, actually kind of same here. Because obviously the ultimate leveling guide is still keeping my channel afloat. Almost single-handedly. That I am so happy that I did that. Like the initial frustration of it not getting looked at, and then just the flood of people searching for it just took a while. A long while. Let's see. I need to go back and check actually.
I'm looking at like my top videos for this past week, and like 8 out of 10 of them are now Skyrim. Where previously, like 76, even though I stopped covering it months and months ago, consistently had like half of my top 10 videos all the time. And there's only 2 of the videos on there.
Are there some builds in there too?
Yeah. I've got my latest build is my most popular video for a little while. Then I've got my Dragonborn build and the Traveller, who's another build I made back in 2019.
Yeah.
It's weird as well, like, there's videos from 2017 which are getting, like, the most views.
Yeah.
Like, I covered Skyrim Survival Mode at the end of 2017, so all of those videos are getting viewed.
Hey. Nice. Probably didn't even know that it was gonna get a...
The thing is, well, when I covered those videos when they first came out, they did well.
Mhm.
But now, they're getting another bump. Yeah, I literally look at the chart, and it's, like, a big bump at the start, then it goes really low, then a big bump at the end again.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've done well.
Yeah, that's good. Did start to notice, which I also posted in my supporters Discord channel, that under a week, it took under a week for people to start commenting on special edition countdowns that Creation Club stuff is missing from the list.
Why'd you do it wrong, Caedo?
I thought I had more time.
No.
I really did. But the internet apparently works way faster than I do. So, yeah. So people are already showing up in my countdowns and being like, well, what about this thing from Creation Club? And probably don't even know. They got Anniversary Edition. They were just like, oh, I just discovered this for the first time. This has to be vanilla.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Because it is discoverable naturally too. So it could just be people ignorant to like all of the updates that Skyrim has gotten over the years.
I mean, that was already a thing with mods where people would be like, oh yes, this is something standard in the game when it was a modded thing. But now this is something that is standard in the game, but it was added by either Special Edition or Anniversary Edition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, which one is the one we base it off of? Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I am going to do a countdown of like the coolest things that were added to Anniversary Edition, and then maybe do something more focus after, if I'm not tired of it. Like Skyrim fatigue happens faster and faster for me, so I need to pick and choose which things I'll be able to tolerate long enough to make a video.
I mean, I'm specifically like giving myself this weekend kind of half off of Skyrim. Like, I made 2 character builds this week for Skyrim, and now I'm doing 2 other videos which are not Skyrim related in order to give myself a bit of a buffer.
Yeah, that's good.
That's also the entirety of what I'm playing / working on done.
Hey! Yeah, we should probably get to that point too, by the way. Want to ask the listeners, hey, have you been playing Skyrim Anniversary Edition, or have you been watching people play Skyrim Anniversary Edition, or are you just playing Special Edition, or are you not playing Skyrim at all? That's a possibility. That's a thing that you can do, is not play Skyrim. Obviously, we are playing a lot of Skyrim. I have also played, right before Anniversary Edition came out, The Riftbreaker, which was a game that was on my wish list for a long time. I bought it and then didn't play it when it came out, because I think I was playing Path of Exile or something prior. So many things.
I figured you'd have got it like on Game Pass.
The Riftbreaker?
Yeah.
I wanted to support the devs for this one.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. So, and it was on my Steam wish list, so, you know, gotta do it. Gotta get it. Because after playing the demo, I was just like, this is kind of like the happy middle between Factorio and StarCraft. Like, that's the kind of Factorio, StarCraft, tower defense. Like, that's the kind of vibe that you can get from this game. And while the voice acting, it's pretty bad. It's not great.
No.
The rest of the game is very fun.
That's good.
And unlike games like Factorio, you not only have your home base map, but you have other places on the planet that you go to establish other bases or other like mining camps and stuff like that, or mining outposts, which is really cool. And a lot of it is, even though you're slaughtering a whole bunch of alien creatures, it's still under the idea of making it habitable for humans. So you're doing research as you're going through and figuring out different ways through hostile conditions to upgrade your equipment to survive those hostile conditions, as well as being fairly regularly attacked by the locals. It's a lot of fun. And since you are working with a robot suit, a mech suit, instead of like a bird's eye RTS thing, you have different upgrades and weapons you can use with that. Like I had just a laser beam that would just cut through all of the little Zergling dudes. It was very satisfying. Like the particle effects are bananas in this game. Of course, you can also set things on fire. Use a flamethrower in a forest. You're gonna set the forest on fire. So a little Far Cry in there. Yeah, I enjoyed the Riftbreaker a lot, but also enjoyed Skyrim Anniversary Edition a lot so far. And Path of Exile, I think I'm done with it for now.
That's fair.
Kite and I lost interest around the same time.
You were hyping it up so much on the video.
It's a good game.
Feature in.
It's a good game for
you
builds.
wanted to make it #1 spot,
but
I was like, no, Caedo, no. Then it gets to like a couple of weeks later, and you're like, nah, it sucks now. Worst game ever.
I can't dedicate my time to an endless online game as much as I would want to. When I have other
dedicate
stuff.
your time to an endless offline game instead.
To an endless single player game instead. Yes, exactly. That should be it though. Like we've broken 2 hours with the recording, and I don't want to edit
this is it.
too much. So.
This is it. Cold ending. Bye everyone.
Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Wasteland Legends, Sven, and my patrons. I don't say that enough. And we will see you in 2 weeks, ideally 2 weeks from now, with an actual Fallout topic instead of a Skyrim topic. Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific. Bye.